Okay class, in this lecture we will see disjoint set data structure. The first thing that we will see is what are disjoint sets and operations on it. So disjoint sets are similar to sets in mathematics, but they are modified for usage in algorithm. Let's take an example to understand this better. Let's take this example. I have a disjoint graph in which one component is having three vertices 1, 2 and 3, and another one is also having three vertices 4, 5 and 6. Now disjoint sets are generally used to detect a cycle, if there is a cycle or not. This disjoint set will be used mostly in Kruskal's algorithm, in which we have to detect whether there is a cycle or not, which we will see in next video. So first of all we have to see here. So there is one set, so I will create one set S1 which will contain my three vertices 1, 2 and 3, and another set S2 which will contain my another set of vertices 4, 5 and 6. Now this is called disjoint because if you do S1 intersection S2 you will get 5. So all the disjoint sets, if you do intersection between any two or all of them, you will get 5, right? And basically there are two operations that happens on them. One is find operation. It tells the set to which an element belongs. So it is basically if it is a part of which set. So if I do find 1 in this, then 1 will give, 1 is here, so it will give S1. If I do find 5, so 5 is not in this set, 5 is here, so it will give you S2. And similarly you can run this on different elements and you will get to which set they are belonging. The another operation that it supports is union. So basically it merges two sets when an edge is added. Right now these two are disjoint set. Suppose I add a edge from 3 to 5. So I'll do first find 3. Find 3 is S1. Find 5 is S2. So both of them belong to different set. So we can perform union. We cannot perform union when they both belong to the same set. So when we perform union, union is similar to our mathematical union. So here we will do S1 union S2 and this will give me another set S3 which will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now since we have performed union, now we will not have this set. These sets vanishes and only S3 will be there, right? So this merge operation merge two sets when there is an edge, that is when an edge is added between them. Now suppose I try to add an edge from 1 to 4. So there will be a cycle created. Now see how this disjoint set detects a cycle. So now first we will do find 1. Find 1 is where? In S3. Now we will do find 4. Find 4 is there here in S3. Both belongs to the same set. If both belongs to the same set, then adding an edge will create a cycle. Here this is how it detects a cycle. So when both the elements belongs to the same set, then adding an edge will create a cycle. Let's take an example to understand this better. Let's take this example in which we have 7 vertices and 8 edges. The vertices are named from 1 to 7 and the edges are named from E1 to E8. So initially what happens is that we have a universal set. In the universal set, we have all the vertices, and it happens such that we can take any two vertices from the universal set and we can merge them and create a set. So now we will add edges one by one. Let's see this. Now first we will add edge E1. We need to know whether we can select this edge or not. So E1 is from U to V is 1 to 2. What we will do, we will see find 1. 1 is in universal set. Okay, find 2. 2 is also in universal set. So we can union them and we will create one set 1, 2. 1 and 2 are not here. Next we will take edge E2. E2 is having 2 to 3. Now we will see 2 belongs to S1, 3 belongs to universal. So when we do find 2, we will get S1, and when we'll do find 3, we will get universal set. So we can add them and we will have S1 union 3. So it will give us 1, 2 and 3. Next when we add edge E3, we will have 3 to 4. Now 3 belongs to S1, 4 belongs to, now 3 will not be here, and 4 belongs to universal. Still we can union them and we will get 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now when we try to add edge E4. E4 is 1 to 4. Now I'll do find 1. Find 1 will give us S1. Find 4. Find 4 will give us S1. Now adding edge 1 and 4 will create a cycle. So we have selected this edge, and this edge. We cannot select this edge. If we can select this edge, it will create a cycle. Okay. So here we can say cycle detected. Now we can add edge in any order. It does not matter. We can add first E8 also. So let's add edge E8. E8 is 5 to 7. So 5 belongs to universal and 7 also belongs to universal. So we can create another set with 5, 7. Now we can add E6. E6 is 5, 6. So now this 5 and 7 will not be here. 5 belongs to S2, 6 belongs to universal. So we can just apply union on them and we will get 5, 6 and 7. Now when we try to add E7, which is from 6 to 7, now 6 belongs to S2, 7 belongs to S2. So now adding this will create a cycle, and you can see that if I add this and this, E6 and E8, then adding E7 will create a cycle. So we can say cycle. Now our last edge remains if we add E5. E5 is from 2 to 5. So 2, if we do find 2, we have S1 because 2 belongs to S1 and 5 belongs to S2. So now they belong to different set. So we can apply union on them and we will get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So here in the universal set there is nothing left and all of our vertices are in S3. So we have selected this also. Now you can see that there will not be any cycle if we have selected this. And if we try to add even one edge, even if I try to add a new edge from 3 to 5, 3 to 6, 4 to 7, any edge in this will create a cycle. This is the minimally connected graph here. Now let's see graphically how this will happen. Now let's see how this can be done graphically. So initially let's see we do not have anything. Let's say we try to add edge E1. What will happen? We will have 1 here, and right now what we did was we were naming the set, but in algorithms we do not need to name the set. We just need one representative element that can represent the whole set. So what will happen when we try to add edge E1, we will have 1 and 2 and 2's parent will be 1. So this is how graphically it will work. Now let's suppose we try to add E3. So now we will have 3 and its child will be 4, and next let's suppose we try to add 2 and 5. So now what will happen? Now we will see how the sets are detected. So now we will see 2's parent is 1. 1 does not have any parent. 5 is alone right now. So it means they both belongs to different set. Why? Because the representative element of 2 is 1 and the representative element of 5 is right now 5 itself. So now what we will do? We will add the parent of 5 as 1. Now you can ask why the parent of 5 as 1? Because when it was not there were 2 elements in this set and there was only 1 element in 5. So what we do is we do union by rank or union by weight. So when we have more element in one set, then the another set's representative element will change. So the representative element of 5 will become now 1. Let's suppose we try to add 1 and 4. So what is the representative element of 1? 1 itself. What is the representative element of 4? 4's parent is 3. So 3 is the representative element of this and 1 is the representative element of this set. So 1 and 3 are different. So it means we can add E4 right now. And what will happen? We can just set the parent of 3 as 1. Next, let's suppose we try to add E7. So this will become 6 and 6 parent will become 7. Now we try to add E8. When we try to add E8, E8 is between 5 and 7. So 5's parent is 1, 1 is the representative element of this set. 7 parent is 6, so 6 is the representative element of this set. So now when we add this and we do union by weight, we add it like this. And this is how graphically it works. Right? So find, what find will do? Find will go to the root and it will find the parent. And union, what union will do? Union will see which is greater in rank and will make another the child of the one which is greater in rank. Now, this may seem difficult, but it is very easy when we use array. Let's suppose this is the array and each element represents a vertex here. So we can, and the name of this array is parent. So basically it is telling who is the parent of which vertex. So here, initially what we will do, we will put -1 everywhere. Why -1? Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to define the weight by this negative number. So if something is -n, it means that there are n vertices in that tree. And what will happen? When we get the negative number, it means that number is the root. So right now, every number is the representative element of itself, or it is the root of that tree. Now let's try to add 1 and 2. When we try to add 1 and 2, so now what will happen? The representative element of 2 will become 1, and here we will do -2. Okay, so we will do just union and we will do -2. Now let's see, let's say we are trying to add the edge E3, which is between 3 and 4. Parent of 3 is -1 and parent of 4 is -1. So what we will do, we will just change the parent of 4 to 3 and we will make this -2, right? Let's suppose we try to add 2, 3. Now, parent of 2 is 1, parent of 1 is -2. We get -2, it means 1 is the representative element of 2. Parent of 3 is -2, we get -2, so it means 3 is its own representative. So now we can union them because both came out to be negative. So what we can do, we can just change this to 1 and we can just add this -2 and -2, it will become -4. When we try to add the edge between 5 and 7, let's say parent of 5 is -1 and parent of 7 is -1. So they both are negative, it means they both belongs to different set. And then we can just do this. We can change the parent of 7 to 5 and we can just add -1 to this. This -1 will be added here. In the previous -1, it will become -2. Let's suppose we try to add now 2 and 5. So 2 and 5. 2's parent is 1. 1 parent is -4. So 1 is the representative element of this. And 5's parent is -2. It means 5 is the representative element of this set. We are doing union by weight. So what will happen? We will see the weight of 5, which is -2. The weight of 1, which is -4. It means the 1 has more weight. Why? Because if we transform this -4, then we know that there are 4 vertices in this tree and there are 2 vertices in this tree. The 2 vertices are 5 and 7. Here, the 4 vertices are 1, 2, 3, 4. So when we merge them, what will happen? The parent of 5 will become 1 and this will become -6. Now suppose we want to add the edge 6, 7, which is E7. So the parent of 6 is -1. It means 6 is the representative element of this set. The parent of 7 is 5. The parent of 5 is 1. The parent of 1 is -6. It means 1 is the representative element of this set. Both the sets are different. So we can just add the parent of 6 as 1 and we can just do -7 here. Now all of them belongs to the same set, right? And we can draw them also like this. And if we see this array, then we can see that we are getting the representative element of the set in almost constant time. And this gives us very beautiful solution because it will take either 1 or 2 steps only, right? Sometimes it happens like this 4, this is taking more steps than other. This 7 is also taking more steps. So what we do is we use collapsing find. What happens? Suppose I call find on 7. So 7's parent is 5, 5's parent is 1, 1 parent is -7. It means 1 is the representative element of this 7. So what we do, we just change this 5 to 1. So here what will happen? We know that 1 is the representative element of 7. So we just do this. So while doing find, we can do this. So first time it may take more steps, but next time it will take less step. And similarly, if I do find 4, 4's parent is 3, 3's parent is 1, 1's parent is -7, 1 is the representative element. So we can remove 4 from here and we can directly put it here. So this is called collapsing find. So it reduces the time when we search for the next time. First time we are searching for anyone's parent or we are doing finding, it will take the number of steps that it usually takes, but next time it reduces that time. Okay, let's see the code. So the code of find and union by weight is very simple. There are just few lines. So here what I did is I made a parent matrix containing V elements, and in the find I'm passing that. So it is U and parent. So if parent of U is negative, as we see there, so we have to return U. It means U is the representative element. And if parent of U is not negative, then we need to go further and we need to check it. So we will just call find with parent of U and parent matrix will be passed as it is. So what we are doing, suppose there are 3 nodes, 1, 2, 3. Its parent is -5 or -3. Its parent is 1, its parent is 2. So we want to call find on 3. So we call find on 3. The parent of 3 is not negative. So we will come here and it will call find parent of U, means parent of 3 is 2 and parent matrix will be passed as it is. Then we will go here, parent of 2 is 1, which is non-negative. So we will call find again with parent of 2. So find parent of 2 is 1 and parent matrix will be passed as it is. Then we'll call parent of 1 is -3, which is negative. So parent of U is negative. So we will return 1. So this will return 1 here, and this, because of this return, it will return 1 to the calling function. So find 3 comma parent will return us 1, and we can see that 1 is the root node of this set, or is the representative element of this, and we can see that 1 is the representative element of this set. Now next is union by weight. So union by weight, we pass 2 vertices U comma V on whose set we want to apply union, and a parent matrix. So first we will find the representative element of U and representative element of V, and if both of them are not equal, so we perform union only when the parents are not equal, but we cannot let it in the user's hand that they will check whether the parents are equal or not. So here we will check that if the representative elements are not equal, then we will check if parent of PU is less than parent of PV. What it is doing is, so parent of PU will be negative because PU is a representative element. So every representative element in the parent matrix, they have negative number. So we are checking if parent of PU, suppose PU is -3 and PV is -2. It means there are 3 elements here and 2 here. So by weight, PU is greater than PV. So that is what we are checking. If parent of PU is less than parent of PV, it means PU is greater than PV in terms of weight. So what we will do, we will add the weight of PV to PU. So now this will become -5. -3 plus -2 is -5. And what we will do, we will make the parent of PV as PU. So here what we will do, we will make PU. Else if PV is greater than PU, then what we will do, parent of PV plus equals to parent of PU. So whatever the weight PU had, we will add it to PV and we will make the parent of PU as PV. Simple. And this is how we do union and find. So I have not written the code of collapsing find that you can find on your own how it can work. You just have to call the collapsing find, and when it returns something, you just have to do some operation there and it will be done, right? You can try it on your own. Thank you.